Hi everybody, this is Miguel here again with episode 2 of Underrated, Overrated, where I share with you my opinion on all things fitness, weight loss, wellness, and all that. So let's go. Coffee. Well, it depends, because there's just coffee, like straight up black coffee, and then there is sugary 300, 400, 500 calorie sugar bombs that you can get at like places like Starbucks or whatever, right? Coffee in and of itself, great. Caffeine gets you going, has antioxidants, it's not bad for you. Just like everything, if we overconsume it, then it can create dependency, right? Where now you're just having caffeine to avoid the headaches rather than to get the benefits of it. But I would say, for me at least at this point, coffee is properly rated because I always look forward to having it in the morning. That first sip just feels like my soul comes back to life. HCG Diet. So for those of you that don't know out there, it is basically you get injections of this pregnant woman's hormone in their urine. That what it does is it blocks the signal of hunger to your brain. So unfortunately, there's a lot of people that go for this. You know, it's extremely aggressive on the body. It's only like you're only eating like 500 to 800 calories per day. You're asked to not work out, because you can just imagine, but you're getting daily injections because it's supervised by a doctor, and it's terrible. Your hair starts falling off. So I would say it's seriously overrated. Flexible dieting. Okay, so what is flexible dieting? It is basically, as the name suggests, just finding what works for you. You know, having some guidelines as to how much to eat and how much of each thing you should eat, but giving you enough freedom that you can choose. Today I do feel like a chicken salad, and then the next day I feel like eating tacos, and you make it fit. You know, that's by far the best way to do it. There's a bit of a learning curve. There's a little bit of practice that you know, and if you're very impatient, you'll probably struggle with it, you know, because it won't make you lose weight as much as an HCG diet, but it definitely is sustainable over the long term. Flexible dieting, seriously underrated. Outdoor activities are seriously underrated. If you think about it, if we could get everybody to just walk 45 minutes a day, that's it. The health of the entire population would be much better. The problem is we try to complicate things too much in our minds, right? Like, oh, it can't possibly be that simple. And so we start looking for more complicated ways. That's what ends up preventing you from actually making progress. Outdoor activities, seriously underrated. All right, so hormones. Hormones can be very much overrated in the sense that many people are not doing the basics to get in better shape, you know, be mindful of how they're eating, move their body, being consistent, being patient. And so they don't see the progress that they want to see. And so it's very easy to blame your hormones because it feels like, well, if it's my hormones, I have no control over it. So hormones as an excuse to why you're not seeing progress, extremely overrated. It is not. Your hormones respond to your lifestyle. Hormones in and of itself, of course, they are important. Of course, you got to pay attention to them. It's not to say they're not important. Unfortunately, most people are not looking at this from a scientific point of view. They're just trying to point a finger at something to blame it for their lack of progress. Fasted cardio, extremely overrated. When you look at the studies, it doesn't make any difference whether you did cardio fasted or not fasted. Unfortunately, back in the 80s, the 90s, this just became more and more popular. So if your trainer is talking to you about, oh, maybe you should do some fasted cardio, that's quite outdated, just to put it mildly. At the end of the day, if your goal is to lose weight, nutrition is going to be massive. Cardio can be great. It's great for your heart. It's great for your brain. Decreases stress up to a certain point, but it can be one of those things that gets abused because, again, we don't really want to pay as much attention to our food as we should, so we overcompensate by doing lots of cardio. Cardio as a tool for weight loss, overrated. Cardio in and of itself, properly rated. Cutting out toxic people from your life, that is definitely underrated. You should be thinking and paying attention to the people that don't clap when you win, to the people that always seem to have something to complain about, to the people that, you know, nothing seems to go well in their lives. There is a reason for that. And I know this sounds kind of rough, but you can love those people from afar, create a little bit of distance, because at at the end of the day, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you should definitely be looking at that. Cutting toxic people out of your life is definitely underrated. Thigh gap, abs, being skinny, those things are extremely overrated. I have never had a thigh gap, but I've had 6-pack abs, and let me tell you, it doesn't really make any difference. You're still the same human, for better or worse, right? Now, you gotta really think about the things that you value most in your life. If what you value the most is being healthy, being able to enjoy your life, then you definitely, living in a place where you have a visible 6-pack all year round, or a thigh gap is what's dictating all of your decisions, that just doesn't lead to a very good place. Stop chasing that and just start looking for something that will actually complement your life, not take over your life. So thigh gap, abs, definitely overrated. Okay, so short-term and long-term goals. I think that if you spend the time to sit down and think, okay, 10 years down the road, what would I like my life to look like? And then you work it back, and then you create sort of checkpoints, like shorter-term goals. That can be a very powerful strategy. The point is to make sure that the goal that you're setting is actually significant to you, that it actually matters. If you just say, well, I want to have a thigh gap, that's not going to help you push through the moments when you just don't feel like getting off the couch, or you feel like, you know what, screw it. What's the point of having a thigh gap anyways? Bring on the cake. If you think of something that has more meaning to you, like for example, I want to grow old, and I want to watch my kids grow old, and I want to be able to play with my grandsons and my granddaughters, right? That's going to be a lot more meaningful. So, you're going to be able to actually get it done because you're going to be more invested in that outcome than just having a 6-pack or a thigh gap or something like that. I think it's definitely underrated. So investing in your health and fitness is definitely underrated. If you think about it, often it happens that we are on a consultation with someone that wants to get in better shape, and through the discovery part of the call, they'll share that they spend anywhere from $50 to $100 per week on eating out, alcohol, treats, you name it, right? And if you're perfectly happy with where you're at, that's fine. But if you're like, I don't feel good, I don't like how I feel, how I like what I see in the mirror, my body hurts, I feel like I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror, etc. You're literally paying that money to be stuck where you're at, so it definitely makes sense to just spend that money somewhere else where it's going to be helpful for you, right? You choose what you invest your money in, and then that dictates the outcome that you get on the other side. So investing is definitely something that we don't do enough. So I would say it's seriously underrated. Awesome, guys. So that's it for today's episode. Please make sure you check out the link in the description if you want to learn more about what we do and how we might be able to help you. Regardless, please let me know in a comment below whether you agree or disagree with everything that I shared, and give me any ideas or topics that you'd like me to discuss in the next episode. I'll see you in the next one.